This episode from Driving with Gloves is about the revival of a legendary hill climb race in Switzerland. And it is even said that Steve McQueen participated in 1968 in the last race of the Eigenthal Bergrennen.
Hi, my name is Cor, and welcome to my channel, Driving with Gloves. I always drive with car gloves. Your question might be, why do I drive with gloves? And my answer is, why not? In the early days, hill climbs were very popular in Switzerland. No wonder, because it's a country full of mountains. But then, the popularity was gone, and they stopped doing that. But now, there is a revival. And today, it's Sunday morning, early in the morning, the streets are empty, and I'm going to participate
In the prologue of the revival of the Eigenthaler Bergrennen.
a hill climb which was very famous until the late 60s. And you might be wondering what car I'm driving today. Well, I'm driving the Triumph TR6. Yes, and I drove a TR6 not too long ago in the parody of the James Mays Bloke's Blokes car. But is it the same Triumph TR6 I drove last time? Yes, but the difference is, last time there was a blonde woman sitting next to me, and this time a brunette. Oh boy, am I a womanizer.
Hill climb races have a long tradition. In 1897 the first hill climb was raced between Nice and Monaco in the south of France. The road is called La Turbie. Only 4 years later they started this tradition also in Switzerland near Geneva, and hill climbs became popular soon. In the beginning there were no safety regulations. In the history of Swiss hill climb races there were way over 100 different hill climbs, but unfortunately most of them do not exist anymore. So now is the absolutely right time for a revival from one of these historical races, the Eigenthal Bergrennen.
I could do it in English, but I do it in German because most people do not speak English here.
But what are all these signs doing behind me?
This is a museum. It's called das Verkehrshaus der Schweiz. It's a very big museum. I believe it's even the biggest museum in Switzerland. And we're here at Prologue from the Eigenthaler, a hill climb, which was very popular until the 60s, the late 60s. It is even said that in 1968 Steve McQueen participated on this hill climb.
And since Steve McQueen is not with us anymore, I have to pretend to be cool today. So what is this prologue about? First we meet in the Verkehrshaus in Lucerne, then we drive through Lucerne to a suburb called Kriens. There we make a stop and let viewers look at the wonderful cars and visit in the meanwhile another museum called Museum in Belpark. From there we drive uphill to the Eigenthal, which is a valley above Lucerne on the Mount Pilatus. And what am I doing today? I'm driving today this wonderful Triumph TR6, which is for sale at Auto Vogel in Switzerland, as are the other cars in this tunnel. And I'm filming, and I will be directing the traffic today, while the others are having breakfast. Yes, you can say it loud, poor boy. But actually, these two boys have to work even harder than I do. Haha. And now I show you some of the cars participating in the Eigenthal Bergrennen prologue. And now we are ready for takeoff. If you look at the wall, you will recognize car wheels. Interestingly, we drove through the main entrance of the verkeershaus. Which is a suburb from Lucerne, and it is there where the Eigenthaler, the hill climb race, starts. Initially the Hofmarktplatz, a square in Kriens, was empty, but only for a short time, because only 10 minutes later it was full of beautiful classic cars, and the public absolutely adored it. But now we are getting to the exciting part of the video, the Eigenthal mountain road. The Eigenthal Bergrennen normally starts here. The first Eigenthaler hill climb race was in the year 1923. There were 22 cars participating and the winner was Eduard Koch. He won in a Fiat in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. In 1928 there was again an Eigenthaler race. This time the winner drove an Austro Daimler and his name was Stuck. He did it in a time of 6 minutes and 21.4 seconds. The winner from 1929 was Hans Stuber in a Bugatti 35C. His winning time was 6 minutes and 20.4 seconds. In 1931 Hans Stuber did it again in his Bugatti. but he was even way faster as 2 years before. He needed only 6 minutes 3.6 seconds to get to the finish. But then there was no Eigenthaler race until 1964. In 1964 there was the first of 3 races in the 1960s. The race was only half as long as it was before. Even a Ferrari 250 GTO participated. It was the 250 GTO I almost sold this year, but unfortunately I did not. But the car is again here in Switzerland after a long stay in Germany. But the winner was Silvio Moser in a Brabham Formula 3 car. He did it in a time of 2 minutes 29.72 seconds. But above all, the race was getting very popular because over 20,000 spectators were watching the race. In 1966, the Englishman John Whitmore was the crowd pleaser because of his spectacular way of driving his right-hand drive Cortina Lotus. In 1968 the race was so popular that 237 cars were participating and there were even more than 30,000 spectators. And as I mentioned before, it is even said that Steve McQueen was participating this race. So it is 50 years ago since the last Eigenthal Bergrennen took place, so it's about time for a revival. But for a new Eigenthal Bergrennen, sponsors are needed, so if you are willing to participate as a sponsor, please contact me. I hope you enjoyed this episode from Driving with Gloves, and I want to thank Auto Vogel in Switzerland to let me participate in the prologue of the Eigenthal Bergrennen. And do not forget, they have beautiful cars for sale. And what is also important, please share and like this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel Driving with Gloves. I hope to see you soon in a new episode from Driving with Gloves. Thank you.